By the end of the year, that's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Bring home a winter wonderland. Shop Lowe's limited-time doorbuster deals during Black Friday to save big on holiday staples. Show your cheer with select 2-quart poinsettias for $6 and shine and shimmer with 100-count holiday living incandescent string lights, now 4 for $10. Then get a fresh-cut Christmas tree, now 25% off. Your holiday list lives at Lowe's. We help, you save. Offers valid through 12/1. Poinsettias and fresh-cut trees in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis.
Monday on the Fan Morning Show, are the Colts playoff hopes still alive? IU gets set for Alabama in the college football playoff, and then Rick Carlisle get his 1,000th win. All that more at 7 a.m. Tune in.
Here we go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker. What you like to do? Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw. Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor. Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it! Hits it!
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Thank you so much for joining us in studio on this Friday. Weird to be in studio on this Friday. Actually, as much as I like this new studio and I enjoy seeing Corbin here and I can go around doing a little training for the JMV takeover, this is like an all-new system, and I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, as I've told you that before, and you certainly realize that. So it is going to take me some premier cramming to have any inkling of what the hell I'm doing coming up on Monday. Check that, Wednesday. See, hell, I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday, when we start season 6 of the JMV Takeover. So, yeah, in here today, good to see everybody back, and hopefully you had a great Christmas holiday, a great Christmas Eve, and you're ready for a little hoops action later on tonight. And we'll see again, the Colts find themselves in a situation where they're, A, talking about injuries and a season being over, and B, having must-win situations. See, if you would take care of the must-win crap when I say it's must-win, then you wouldn't be dealing with a must-win situation this time of year, every single year. And oh, by the way, you need a cloudy level of stratospheric help. Everybody's got to get their Texas Instruments calculators out from 1982 with the red digits and all those buttons on it. You had no idea what the hell they meant. Everybody's got to get those out to try to calculate the winning percentage and the strength of schedule and all that numbnuttery that you could get around if you just won some games. A game or two, here or there. This has been a situation that we found ourselves in a number of times over the years, so this is not new territory for you. That and more coming up, too. I know DeRocco is from Jacksonville, going to zoom in here coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll talk about that. But, again, I want to double back. Hope everybody had a fantastic holiday. I got to give a shout-out. I love Terre Haute, Indiana. I know you're going to say, you can't love Terre Haute, Indiana, but I do. And I've always said this. If you went or you attend or you did attend Indiana State and you didn't have the greatest of times, then that's because you're a big nerd. And it's your fault. Not anybody else's fault but yours. Now, granted, I could have a good time at an insurance convention, but Brian Neer is incredibly offended that I said that. But If you didn't go have a good time when you were in Terre Haute, that's on you. You're probably a big dork. Man, I still love going over there, though. Hit Sullivan, Indiana, as I mentioned, 1927 for the downtown Sullivan Gymnasium. It's just one of those classics that you really, truly only see in the state of Indiana. God, it makes us special in basketball. Love it. Just so ultra special to see those places, even if you don't play in those places any longer. I'm just glad they're still around to see. Sullivan and then Terre Haute, and a shout out to the Longhorn Steakhouse, of which I've not been to. That used to be the Apple Club, I think, where I went. Like my mom was getting mad, got to stop someplace, we got to go somewhere, so I just pulled into the Longhorn Steakhouse, had a great time. So no, that was the Christmas Eve on the road, which is great. Christmas Day yesterday, I watched a ton of NBA. That was outstanding. And basically that was that. Maybe a little bit. My coffee is right there in the floor, Phelan, so make sure that we're all good. No spilling going on in this new studio. I can flat tell you that. But Christmas story with Peter Billingsley. By the way, I did find out from Gilly Gilly, who attended the event, which was a week ago yesterday at the Mirat. She was backstage. Like the winner got to go backstage with Ralphie, Peter Billingsley, and evidently he tried to call not once but twice on that day. That's when I was at Twin Peaks, and remember we had some issues there, so he tried to call twice. So a shout out to Ralphie and Gilly Gilly for letting me in on that information. But again, hopefully you had a fantastic Christmas holiday. In whatever capacity you celebrate, hopefully you had the opportunity to do just that. Pacers and the Celtics later on tonight, and hell, I would have known that had I didn't even have to look at the schedule. I saw Sam Cassell downtown a little bit earlier, or further downtown. We are downtown now, but near the Hyatt downtown. Celtics Pacers later on tonight. It was a bummer yesterday. You see all these teams, right? And as a Pacer fan, you go, I'll be damned. There is such a significant reason why on this day we should be watching the Pacers. They earned it. Now, I'm sure as hell glad we're not watching the Pacers on Christmas Day with this group right now. But they earned so much of that. Sitting around yesterday and not having the opportunity to see them on Christmas Day after pushing the NBA Finals to a seventh and decisive game, that was yet, and I know you've had a lot of them, another steel-toed square kick right in the groin. They had to sit around and watch the Dallas Mavericks play. I'm going to watch Golden State again. Cleveland. And Cleveland is always going to be really good until it matters, until you really have to be really good, and then they're going to fiddle fart around and fade away. Kind of what they did yesterday. Get back to that point coming up in just a minute. Of course, you got a weekend of football that started last night with some of the schedule's most boring games front and center on Christmas Day and Christmas evening. You got one that holds a great deal, I don't want to say promise in this case, but crossing your fingers and hope for the Colts. And if you missed the latest, DeForest Buckner is out for the remainder of the season. Re-aggravated the neck situation, which is never good. Now, the Colts do say they plan on him returning next year. Who the hell knows, right? Comes back for one game, re-aggravation, and goes on IR. He's going to have surgery, and that be that. The return of Sauce Gardner, we shall see that. And the new and improved, shall we say, led by Liam Cohen, Jacksonville Jaguars. And to hit that right now and then some on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He covers the AFC South, the AFC, the NFL, and everything in and around Jacksonville, Duval County. With the Jacksonville Jaguars in mind, he is our friend, and happy holidays to Mike DeRocco. Mike, how are you?
Good. I was wondering if you were going to go, speaking of a kick in the groin, here's Mike DeRocco to talk about the Jags Colts.
Thinking my crotch being sore, Mike DeRocco joins us now on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I'm going to tell you what, Mike, around here, it is tough because even when the good things happen, you are bound to get your fair share and then some of the bad stuff. It's just kind of the way that you are right now. I think there needs to be some sort of exorcism, some sort of reset, but something around here is going to have to be hit, especially with the way this football thing has gone over the course of the season.
Yeah, it's funny because earlier in this season, I was starting to work on a story about Trevor Lawrence, and the theme of the story was, in order to get the good out of Trevor Lawrence and to get those good plays and the good throws, you got to put up with a lot of the bad. And it's sort of like the yin and the yang, which is really important in not only in football, but in everything. It's like when it's going good, ride it out as much as you can and enjoy the heck out of that, because I guess, everyone just kind of knows that other shoe's going to drop. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, it does. And it ultimately did. I mean, it's one thing, and I will say this, Mike, and you saw this as well. There was an offensive fade even before Daniel Jones was compromised with the fibula. And then obviously it all went downhill after that. But it was like teams were starting to midseason figure this thing out. And as the injuries increased and got worse, you saw kind of the offense taking that dip too.
Yeah, and I still think when Jones got healthy, I think it was going to get back, maybe not to the level it was early in the season, but I think the offense was going to turn a little bit. I kind of felt like it was a lull, and quite frankly, I thought it actually might happen in Jacksonville. And it just seems like when you have Jonathan Taylor, man, that just should open up so much stuff, play action wise and everything that you can do off of that. And it just really hasn't worked. Now, I admit I haven't seen, I saw maybe about a quarter and a half of Phillip Rivers playing the other night, but he looked pretty good. So maybe things can kind of turn with the 44-year-old guy. Who knows?
They look good for the offense a lot of the time, but the defense was awesome. Or I should say awful. As good as the offense was at times, the defense was absolutely atrocious. And, Mike, that is the scenario around here. It's when something is going well, something else or multiple something else's in this case would be sure to go wrong. And, you can blame all this and excuse on this on injuries, and that's fine. But this is not a new conclusion that has been drawn with this organization, certainly over the last handful of years around here.
No, that's a good point. Maybe, I don't know. Is it tied? I mean, you're closer to it than I am. From afar,
100% is tied to where you're about to go right here. 100%.
Is it a time for a complete and total reset? Although I like Shane Steichen. I think look, what he got out of Daniel Jones earlier in the season is fantastic. I mean, that is legit. That was legit Coach of the Year stuff. And for whatever reason, I thought the Sauce trade was interesting. I liked it at the time.
I did too.
But what are they, 1-5 with him since he's been here? I think is what it is. And it's just, I don't know that a corner makes that much of a difference. But I applaud. Look, you were rolling, and they made an effort to take the shot, and I like it. I like it when teams are aggressive. It works sometimes, and then it doesn't. And then when it doesn't, that's when, guys end up maybe looking for other places to go.
So Mike Duraco of ESPN and ESPN.com is with us. The point that I have made, and I was on board with that too, and I remember last January you and I talked, and I told you then, I said, I'm ready for everybody to be gone and start new. This is what this needs after the season that we witnessed a year ago. And, they moved forward, brought in Daniel Jones, and they did instill some enthusiasm and some winning into this group. But again, we're back right where evidently this team normally is, this organization normally is. And it almost have been better had they reset back then in January now and not gone through those 2 months of winning and everybody being enthusiastic again about the product, because this has set you back not just this year, but next year and the next year because of that Sauce Gardner trade and the position which you're in. And I guess, Mike, what I'm saying is over the years now with Chris Ballard, they have exhausted every avenue, and that's great. But nothing, and nothing has ever worked. So I don't know how much further you can go, again, knowing that nothing has worked and there are always excuses before you just go ahead and reset it all and see if that ultimately is going to work? Because to this point, nothing else has.
Well, I mean, I think you can obviously look at what Jacksonville did and see how that worked for them at this point. I mean, look, there was, for whatever reason, Shad Khan was hell-bent on keeping Trent Baalke, despite all the evidence to the contrary, despite the fact that, there was there were two factions working against each other in the building, despite the fact that the atmosphere inside the Jags organization wasn't the greatest. And there were Baalke guys and non-Baalke guys, and you had people rowing against each other. And then when you have that, you end up staying where you are, which is sort of what happened after 22. Once Trevor got hurt in 23, it just sort of stagnated, and then it got worse. And, when he pulled the trigger on Doug Peterson, I thought, well, surely he's going to pull the trigger on Trent Baalke, and that didn't happen. And it wasn't until, Liam Cohen was in the building and then out of the building that Shad realized, hey, look, this has got to happen. We need the full reset. And, look, it's been a phenomenal flip, really much, much quicker than I anticipated. I honestly think it's much, much quicker than even those in the building anticipated, if they were being brutally honest with us. But, they paired the right coach with the right GM, and they bring Tony Baselli in, and he's sort of running the ship in terms of changing the culture and fixing the building and all those small areas that, that need to be addressed, whether it's, hey, why are we doing this in marketing? Why are we doing it this way? Why aren't we doing that? Why are we doing this, with, sponsorships? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we letting the players have pregame passes on the field? All those things. And what it turns, the one thing that I've found in successful football organizations, and this goes back to my time covering the University of Florida, spent 13 years covering the Gators, through Spurrier and Zook and Urban Meyer and a little bit of Will Muschamp. When you do the little things right, it generally leads to you doing the big things right. And for years, the Jags hadn't really done the little things right. Now they're doing the little things right. And look what's happened. You do the little things right, you get the right people in place, and then you have success. So I think the Colts can get there quickly.
You think they can do it with this group here, given the circumstances of no number ones and obviously trying to expedite the whole injury rehab of Daniel Jones, whom I'm assuming will, at a lower price tag, be a part of this organization. You think that they can reset this and they can raise the bar on results once their quarterback is healthy again? Is that what you're saying?
It worked here in Jacksonville. I think absolutely you can do it. I mean, I think what you saw Shane Steichen get out of Daniel Jones early in the season on a consistent basis before he got banged up, what were they, 8-1 at one point? You can win. You can win with that. I mean, you're going to have to deal with injuries. That's, obviously something you deal with every year, and that can derail you more than anything else. But look, if Daniel Jones is really the guy that we saw early in the year, then I think absolutely you can, look, no first-round pick hurts. I mean, the Jags are going to deal with that this year as well. They don't have one either after going to get Travis Hunter. But there's plenty of talent on that roster. I mean, now what? Was Pierce a free agent? You have to deal with that, right? You got to bring him back. And, Jonathan Taylor's getting older. But he's still a hell of a player, and don't see any drop-off. I think it's possible, absolutely. Look, let's be honest. The AFC South isn't, it's not the NFC West here. I mean, it's the Jags are 11-4, and Houston is 10-5.
Well, they got a hell of a lot better this year, though.
They did, but this isn't like the Patriots with Brady here. I mean, all these teams have flaws. Certainly the Texans' offense is not functioning at anything close to a high level, and the Jaguars will have some instances where their offense looks phenomenal, but now they're not able to run the ball the way they were at the beginning of the year, and now they've got another bunch of key guys hurt. They may be playing without two starting offensive linemen this week, so depth is going to be an issue on this team, and certainly, the Texans are riding that number one defense. But, man, this is not, like I said, this is not exactly a monster division here. So you get the right quarterback in place. You surround him with some playmakers, which they still have. You make a few changes on defense, and boom, all of a sudden, it's a 3-team race again next year, and it goes into December where all 3 teams could really be competing for the division title in the playoffs.
It's Mike DeRocco of ESPN and ESPN.com. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Jaguars and Colts for a second time this season, 1 o'clock coming up on Sunday here at Lucas Oil Stadium. The ride to kickoff with me starts coming up at 9 a.m., Then we'll go to Touchdown Town at 10. It is funny because I've said this before. What I believe should occur is not what I think is going to happen, because I think the way that the dynamics have gone with the quarterback injury and the fade and the deal for Sauce Gardner, I thought going back to the NFL trade deadline that dictated the terms on everybody coming back regardless. And at the time, it was like, oh, no, there's no way they're going to fade out like this or, win one of their final games on the schedule since Halloween. I didn't think it was going to be like that. We all kind of joked about it, but that certainly is and can be how it may end up. But I think that the logic here is, from a Colts angle, I believe they're going to bring everybody back and try to do exactly what you just said. I don't think they're, for example, people ask all the time, what's Carly Ursay-Gordon going to do in your estimation? Nobody has any idea, but I think, to me, what you can easily do, the harder thing is to do what I propose. The easier thing to do is to try to do that, and because you're already soaking in it, try to live with it, cobble something together, and hope that things turn out as you just described it, Mike.
Yeah, if there's, the main argument to me to make the complete change, or at least, think about what you're going to do with Ballard is, like, bringing in Phillip Rivers. It just seems like a desperation move. If you've been here that long, as Ballard has been there, and you're building this roster and you're building for the future, not just every single year, you should have more trust in what you've brought in there. Like, why is Riley Leonard there if you're not going to put him on the field when Daniel Jones goes down and you're not really sure what you're going to do, and Anthony Richardson's still hurt? You know what I mean? Like, it felt like a desperation move, and it's like you should be in better. Now, I get it. Nobody has a great third quarterback, but you should always have that developmental quarterback on your roster and ready to go if emergencies happen. And, the guy I hadn't played in 5 years. Now, don't get me wrong. He's looked really, really good. I mean, he can't throw, 60, 70 yards down the field anymore, but he's looked really, really good. But it just says to me, I don't trust what I've built. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm overthinking that or whatever, and Leonard is not real good, or, I know he's banged up a little bit too, right? So I don't know. But that, to me, that was just like, it just screamed desperation. And I wonder if that's a message when that move is made, that guys inside the locker room are going, what the hell are we doing? Like, this guy's 44. He hasn't thrown a ball in 5 years. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not inside that locker room, but that was just the thing that honestly stood out to me. It was like, what is the reaction in that locker room when they're bringing in Phillip Rivers?
Well, and I think that a lot of people look at it, Mike, as an emergency quarterback situation, thus you automatically get a pass. But the thing you just described, and the players maybe inside the locker room saying, what the hell are we doing? Those players inside that locker room that have been here long enough have said that before. This is not like the first time they've probably been quoted as saying, what the hell are we doing with this in that particular position? And that's what I emphasize, is it's almost like they've exhausted everything to try to live up to, any sort of playoff, obviously early in the season when you thought that they could end up winning the AFC South for the first time since 2014. There are so many not sense, I think, involved in this, whether you're talking about the postseason, a division title, and Mike, even with the emergency third stringer here or whatever you want to describe it, I mean, this team likely is not going to win another game, from Halloween on. And I don't know how many, even if you're on even more solid footing, how many people normally survive that type of scenario in this game of football.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very good point. I didn't realize that they hadn't won a game since Halloween.
Well, you're not as drunk as I am, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but, you know, I've said all of that, but the bottom line is most times when your starting quarterback gets a season-ending injury.
I should say they've won one game since Halloween, DB. They won in Berlin on the 9th.
I don't even know if that makes it any better, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they haven't won
they haven't won on American soil since Halloween. There you go.
I mean, it's just normally that does get you a pass. You're rolling, and then you're starting. Well, the one of your quarterbacks has a freak awful injury, in the preseason, and then the guy that actually starts really playing well for you has another injury. Normally you get a pass for that, but does the impatience, like you've mentioned, of this kind of stuff happening before, and the question is that going to cause them to make the change? And if you were to sit them down, if you sit Steichen and Ballard down and you said to them, hey, who's the starting quarterback for the season opener next year? They can't tell you with any certainty that it's Daniel Jones or that it's Anthony Richardson or that it's Riley Leonard or that it's a free agent out there. I mean, you don't know, and that's an awful, awful place to be when you enter the offseason.
In closing here, Mike, I think this may come down to something that you brought up earlier in our conversation, and that is how much everybody over there, and certainly with ownership starting right there, how much they really believe in Shane Steichen. I do, because there are a lot of things where, all right, if you're looking at the clock, and I think that they're going to say now is not the time because all the circumstances. And again, I think they said that when they stamped the okay on that deal for Sauce Gardner, regardless.
Right.
But, you just had no idea that the worst case scenario that we kind of laughed about back then has taken shape to become what normally is a Colts reality around here to close this season.
Yeah, and like I said before, I applauded the move at the time. I thought,
Me too.
You know what,
I did too.
Being aggressive. I talked to, people, you're listening to media people around the league and reading stuff, breaking it down. There were some people that were like, hey, you know what, a corner isn't going to make the difference for you. But, look, you get a chance to add an elite player, add the elite player. And that, that sort of that sent the same message to me. And this is a weird, but like when the Jaguars re-signed Walker Little at left tackle last year during the season, which Trent Baalke says he had a long-standing policy of never negotiating and signing guys to extensions in the middle of during the season. So when the owner okays that just sends the message out that, okay, well, the GM's fine and he's coming back.
Right.
And they did bring him back and then obviously changed the mind and flipped to get Liam Cohen. But yeah, I mean, it seems like they're safe. And, you can always, like, again, our quarterback got hurt. I mean, name me any team in the NFL that loses their quarterback and everything goes wonderfully. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So you're probably right. They're probably not going to make a change. And if, to be honest with you, like I said before, I like Steichen. I think he's a good coach. I think he got a lot of stuff out of Daniel Jones that previous coaches haven't been able to get. It's a lot like Liam Cohen. He's getting stuff out of Trevor Lawrence that the previous group of coaches hasn't been able to get. And when you've got a guy like that, if you can bring Jones back and you can kind of make sure that he's going to be healthy for most of the season last year, and why not keep that part of it together?
It's Mike DeRocco of ESPN and ESPN.com. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You get Jacksonville and the Colts coming up on Sunday at 1. And Mike, kind enough to join us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Mike, hopefully you're having a great holiday down there in Jacksonville, and we shall talk again soon. I always appreciate the time.
Oh, thanks for having me. Anytime.
Mike DeRocco on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Again, DeForest Buckner aggravated a neck injury, season-ending surgery on his herniated disc. Shane Steichen made that be known a little bit earlier. Now, he also talked about how the expectation is to have him back again next year. But DeForest Buckner done after one game in his return, re-aggravating a neck injury. season-ending surgery on his herniated disc. Sauce, we'll see how much he plays, but he and Bernard Ryman both scheduled to be back coming up on Sunday. More of that conversation and the bummer that it was watching the NBA yesterday. Not this version of the Pacers, because really I don't know who wants to see that right now. But the Pacer organization, for what they accomplished a year ago, deserves so much better. Could not help but think about that yesterday as watching the 5 games back-to-back and not having any Pacers involved after what they accomplished a year ago in the postseason. It was a bummer. Quick break. We'll come back. By the way, Celtics-Pacers coming up later on tonight. We'll get into that. Mike Wells going to join us. Joel Erickson of the Star. Bob Lovell, all still to come. Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Corbin's in there. I'm John. I'm in the studio. We are heading into a new year, by the way. I shall explain that and a lot more still to come. Don't go anywhere. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live at 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is James with Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling. Out working during the holidays, I always love getting to customers' houses. They're baking, getting the free cookies or the cakes or things you're going to take home with you. Sometimes you're there helping somebody on Christmas Day, and it becomes a benefit. My wife's like, "Oh, you had to work today," and I don't tell her about the case of cookies I got in the truck that I got while I was at Mrs. Jones's house. So we're here if you need us. You're part of our family.
Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's not a dive, not even quite a hole in the wall. But it's definitely not one of those loud corporate places with a zillion TVs where the man bun is the official uniform. It's Behringer's Tavern on South Meridian, and it's everything a tavern should be. 140 years of history in Indy, and it's been resurrected just enough to not kill the neighborhood bar vibe. Food, including an attached pizza joint, billiards, shuffleboards, and, ready for this, affordable drinks. Behringer's Tavern on South Meridian. It's everything a tavern should be.
This time of year, it's about the snacking, and you want to do some elite-level snacking, right? Whether you're watching football, maybe it's a little bit of hoop, but seriously, on a cracker, a chip, a vegetable? How about a burger? The spreadability of Win Schuler's and their fantastic cheese spreads from original cheddar, sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, and jalapeno pepper. The spreadability of Win Schuler's, you can find it. Win Schuler's, Gordon's Food Service, and your favorite Meijer location across the state of Indiana. JMV here for my friends at Premier Weight Loss. You know what's funny? When I was in my teens, body exploration meant something completely different than it does now that I'm 56 years of age. I can say now that it means, where am I on my weight loss journey? Down nearly 80 pounds. How about my body fat percentage? Down from 35% to 13%. Now it's time to add muscle mass, or lean mass, if you will, with the tone stimulation machine that they have at Premier Weight Loss. You can do the same weight loss journey and then tone up with Thomas and Samantha and the gang at Premier Weight Loss. It will work for you. That's PWLND.com. Mention my name. For the first 10 days in the month of December, you could win 2 lower-level tickets to see the Niners and the Colts. If you want to lose the weight, if you want to feel better, it's PWLND.com. You can do it. Tell them JMV sent you. PWLND.com today.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
It's BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Your Colts game day experience the best it can be. Log on and get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Your home for indie sports. Now with even more ways to listen.
Listen on air.
Online at 1075thefan.com.
And on our free app.
Stay connected to all things indie sports, including the latest news, show blogs, and catch up on what you've missed with our podcast.
We're never more than just a click away.
Download our app at Google Play and on the App Store. From your home for indie sports.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Attention, whoever you are, this channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Mike DeRocco a little bit earlier, the podcast at 1075thefan.com. Hopefully you're listening, you're participating. Text line is wide ass open right now, 2-317-239-1070. I shall read your text. I have bullseye passes to give away too. Hey, the final Colts pregamer of the seat, unless something just absolutely flooringly ridiculous happens. And you got to be a part of it too. BullseyeEventGroup.com and the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. I'm going to give you the opportunity to win some passes a little bit later on. All you can eat, all you can drink. It is the best pregame party anywhere. That's why across the landscape of the NFL, they want Kyle Knet and his input on their pregame parties. That's why Kyle's doing yet another Super Bowl pregame party. Santa Clara, California. The destination. BullseyeEventGroup.com. I know Skids and Laura Steele. Got a really nice note from Laura last night on Christmas. And Kelsey Murphy, who is just an incredible chef, the celebrity chef. All that and more. And the doors open at 10 a.m. coming up on Sunday morning. I'll be there beginning at 9. More on that coming up and your chance to win as well. Meantime, at the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, Indiana Sports Talk tonight, tomorrow night. His name is Bob Lovell, present and accounted for on this Friday during our holiday season. Hello, Bob.
Hey, John, how are you?
Bob, I love this time of year, and I would especially have loved it in basketball. Even though it's haywire and you've got kids like transferring everywhere and doing this and doing that, just like they are in college basketball, and blanking everything up for us all, even though that does occur, I love the holiday tournaments where all of a sudden you go out and you play at 11 a.m. in Terre Haute, something like that. Right. I dig the holiday tournaments, Bob, I do.
Well, they're a special thing. You know, I remember back when I was a kid, growing up on the main streets of Plainfield, going to the Brownsburg gym and watching the Wabash Valley tournament way back in the day, back in the 50s. And so now you have it. It's, Terre Haute, the Wabash Valley area. I know you have an affinity for that area, and you love that tournament. I mean, that's a aside from the sectional, that used to be the biggest thing going on in basketball. It's still important, but it's great that you have, if you're a basketball fan, boy and girl basketball fan, you have plenty of tournaments, plenty of opportunities to go watch basketball over the holidays.
And growing up in a rural area, it's not like that anymore because there are more options and opportunities to play the bigger schools. But growing up in my era in a rural area, you always wanted that opportunity to play the bigger schools, and certainly tournaments like the Wabash Valley, for example, give the small town, the rural area schools that still do exist, chances to play a Terre Haute North or a Terre Haute South, something like that. And I always thought that was pretty cool.
I think it is cool, and I think from a coaching standpoint, gives you the chance to play out of your area, play some different styles that you don't necessarily see year in and year out. Play bigger programs, beef up your schedule, if you will, and try to challenge your kids as much as you possibly can.
It's Bob Level of Indiana Sports Talk, and by the way, underway in the TH in the Wabash Valley tournament. How about you go over there this morning and watch Martinsville beat Shackenback by a point in overtime? Come on now, that's bang for your buck right there.
That is. I mean, Jackson Williams, first-year coach here at Martinsville.
Yeah.
His dad was a long-time assistant for me at IUPUI. I'm excited for him. He's starting to get some things together. They've won like 3 of their last 4. They're starting to really come together and understand what's going on. So, you get in those kinds of tournaments and give your kids multiple games in a short amount of time and test them as much as you can.
Yeah, you get Edgewood a win by a point over Linton. You get the Blake Neal show with Bloomfield versus KZ Westfield, Illinois. I mean, all that through 8:30 later on tonight. That's some special stuff. Speaking of special, I know that you're a huge high school basketball historian in this state. 1927, Sullivan, Indiana. And I went back to that gym on Christmas Eve, and I was down in Sullivan. The old downtown gym in Sullivan, Indiana is still there. Goals still up and everything. What a classic gymnasium.
It is, and the Golden Arrows are still good. That's the other thing about it. It's one of those. We don't have, obviously, as many of those kinds of facilities left. There are still some great ones with some real history, but that's one, in that part of the state especially, that's one of the true wonders, if you will, joys if you're a basketball fan, to be able to visit a facility like that.
Hey, I did want to mention this to you because you have this going on in high school, too, with the girls. I don't know if I've seen it impact the boys just yet, but just wait. I'm sure it has. I just haven't remembered it. But it's impacted the girls so far, and you see the impact it's having, just bringing somebody, being able to transfer whenever you want and then get some sort of clearance. Where the hell are we going with this, both in the high school game and the college game?
On the high school game, we're going to AAU, year-round AAU basketball.
We're on the highway to hell right now, like AC/DC famously said, aren't we?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's a situation where kids will play now in multiple, more than 2 or 3 schools during their high school career, like you've seen in college, unfortunately. And you'll leave whenever you want. Basically, basketball in the high school and college level is free agency, freedom of movement, go everywhere, anywhere you want, whenever you want. Whatever the disruption to your particular program or community, that's of no concern to anyone. It's all about allowing kids to do what it is they want to do without, understanding the concept of having to battle through adversity, the lessons you learn by those kinds of things. And it's not a cliche, it's real. And so, yeah, it's tough to, you understand it. I think on a gut level, you understand that it's all about opportunities and it's about money. The college is just now an extension of the NBA and NFL. And they're legitimately now minor league programs. with some pomp and some circumstance. They don't. You think about it, John. No one talks about missing class. No one talks about the impact on student athletes anymore because no one cares. You're in it for a buck. You're not in it for an education. The only place you're in it for an education is the Division III and the Division II level. And quite frankly, if you want to get excited about basketball, start really rooting for and supporting Division II and Division III basketball because that's where the purity of the game stays.
I'm curious in closing here, what's this going to do for, if we'll just say this continues, as you call it, rightly so, the freedom of movement. We know it's, you become a free agent year after year. And I mean, hell, some of them maybe during the year. Who the hell knows how this is going to work? But what does that do for recruiting? Like now, if you're outside the top, 35 or 50, I mean, you're going to be a long shot to even, get too much care in terms of, getting to a power conference school as you once might strive? Because I'm assuming there has to be some sort of trickle down to all this, right? And then maybe you get noticed further down the road when you go to, a different school, maybe a non-power conference school. But, at that moment, I'm assuming that changes, everybody's thought process in terms of recruiting and what number you might be, which comes into, I always, didn't really look at that, but now I guess you do now more than ever.
Well, it's just changed dramatically. The fear I have is if you're that kid who, now if you're a high school senior, we know the emphasis is on recruiting out of the portal. So if I'm a college coach, I was never a huge fan of freshmen. I played a lot of them, but I wasn't a big fan of freshmen. And so I'm a college coach. I'd be okay not to bring in freshmen. I'd be all right to bring in transfers from the portal system. I'd be fine with that. I think that's, for the system itself, for the betterment of the game, that's a bad idea because it puts an ungodly amount of pressure on those kids coming out of high school. But, once you understand how the game's played, go someplace, have a good year, and then you're out of there. And not surprisingly, you're seeing kids go to 3 and 4 schools during their career, and in some cases even applying for some hardship and trying to get an extra year. So it's all a mess. I'm not sure how you are able to corral it because I'm not sure that there's a real overwhelming desire for it to be changed back or controlled in any particular way. It literally is the wild, wild west, and you better strap yourself in and be ready.
Bob, speaking of the wild, wild west, how about this? Tomorrow starting at 10 a.m., how about we all do this? The Eminence Tournament. Eminence. The Eels host a tournament.
Yeah. The Eels
Holy crap. How did I not get the invite for that?
I don't know. It's a great place to play. It's a tremendous gymnasium. It's one of those older ones, John. It's
yes.
a tremendous gymnasium. It is. And by the way, when I was coaching at Franklin College, I was invited to come and speak to their basketball banquet. And at that time, they conferred upon me. I'm an honorary Eel, something you didn't know. I've been honored to, look, I'm in the Basketball Hall of Fame and all
yes.
these other halls of fame that I'm in. But I am an honorary Eel, proud to say it, happy to be conferred as an honorary Eel back in the day.
I'm telling you. This is locked and loaded with great Riverton Park and Lighthouse Christian at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Seven Oaks. I don't even know what that is. What's Seven Oaks?
Me either. I thought I knew a lot, but I guess I don't.
There was a junior college in southern Michigan back in the day called Glen Oaks, and if you could just barely play basketball, they took you, I think.
Careful now! I had a couple of players come out of there and help me win a couple of championships. I love Glen Oaks.
I think they took a bunch of Eastern Green guys back. If he could just barely play a lick, they normally and they didn't even take me. Seven Oaks and Eminence, Mooresville Christian's in it, Attica is in it too. All a part of this round robin tournament, the Eminence tournament. I think we all need to be going to that.
Just for nothing more than to be able to say you were in the Eel Dome. I can see the pictures on Facebook of people being in the Eel Dome and having a great day of basketball.
Oh, man, that's beautiful. Well, be reporting on that coming up tomorrow night because that is a Saturday tournament in Eminence, the Eminence Eels.
Don't put pressure on me. Yeah, don't put pressure on me.
All right, have a great one tonight. Tomorrow night,
too,
have
John.
a great holiday continued, and have a great new year. we'll catch up with you next week in 2026 for our first conversation. How about that?
Look forward to it, John. Enjoy the holidays. Thanks for having me.
Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Who wants to go to Eminence? Seven Oaks. What's the Seven Bridges Road? Is that the Eagles song? There are stars. Look at Corbin's looking at me like I've got three heads over here. Trying to figure out Seven Oaks. Will Boatwright is the coach. The Seven Oaks Firehawks. They're 0-4 on the season. They have lost to Bloomington Homeschool, Columbus Christian, Eminence, and Cannleton. It's the first time I've ever heard of it. The navy and maroon of the Seven Oaks Firehawks. Shout out to first-year head coach of the school, Will Boatwright. Let's take a quick break. We shall return. Top of the hour, Joel A. Erickson. We know this. DeForest Buckner done for the season. We'll talk about his future still here with Joel. The return of Sauce Gardner, the return of Bernard Ryman, and all those nerdy numbers you have to come up with to figure out exactly how the Colts could be playoff bound. That and more with Joel. Top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. The stream, the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. Become a AAA member today. Tell them I sent you. And happy holidays from 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
I'm Dwight Freeney, and my friend Eli is alive today thanks to someone who said yes to organ donation. When Eli was just 12 years old, he received a liver transplant that saved his life because someone just like you said yes to being an organ donor. His story and many others like his are why I have teamed up with Indiana Donor Network and Donate Life Indiana to help end the wait for life-saving organs. You can help. Say yes to being an organ donor next time you are at the BMV.
John here with a tremendous idea. I want you to get into a new set of wheels, either at the end of this year, which time is running out now, but how about the start of 2026, and go with the best, the easiest, the hassle-free, all the way around experience with my friend Eric Wilson and Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37. That's in Fishers. Where do I begin? Of course, the inventory, because you can pick and choose. Man, the best part about this is being able to roll off the property in that new ride itself. You're going to get discounts, which in this case would be incentives to buy. And again, the service after the sale, making sure you maintain and even raise the bar on the life expectancy of your vehicle. That's what you're going to get. All encompassing the best car buying experience in the state of Indiana in one place. Ask for my friend Eric Wilson. Do that today. That's Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Johnny for Big Red Liquors. That is Big Red Liquors, as we're going to help ring in the new year with incredible specials. How about Spirit bottles? Perfect for gifting here. Maker's Mark, $7.50s, $10 off. That's a red-hot deal, by the way, too. Don Julio, $7.50s. Everyday low prices on that, too. You know this from my friend Brent Halverson, Evan Williams Eggnog, which I did get for G for Christmas, $12.99. That's a starter. You guys dig on Modelo? How about Modelo 24-pack cans? That is a savings of $5 for you right now. Founders Family, 15-pack cans. You'll get a savings of a couple of bucks there. And Sun Cruiser Family, 8-pack cans. You're going to save $3. And all the Happy New Year specials, which are going on, courtesy of our friends from Big Red Liquors. As always, too, they power the JMV Takeover as we begin, hopefully, coming up on Wednesday on New Year's Eve, Season 6 of the JMV Takeover. The Red Hot deals and all that and more you can find and the location nearest you. That's bigredliquors.com.
The following is a district-wide service announcement from the District Tap.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. Wait, hey, can we say that? Damn good food?
Yes, I'm told that damn good food is totally acceptable. Go ahead and pick it up from there.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. And don't get me started on all the sports at the tap. Over 60 big f***ing screens with as much NFL and collegiate football action as you can handle. Weeknight matchups? Yeah, we have weeknight games. Looking for a spot downtown to catch that game? Get your f***ing ass over to our new downtown location at the corner of Georgia Street and Meridian. Game on at the District Tap. How's that?
Fantastic.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. North at 82nd Street, just east of Keystone at the Crossing, and downtown at the corner of Georgia Street and Meridian. Online at thedistricttap.com.
Hey there, it's Jake Query with a question for you. What are your dinner plans? Or do you even have a plan? I want you to be a hero tonight. Be a winner. Be a champion as a dinner provider. Get the Chicago's $25 medium pizza special tonight. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas and an order of fresh hot breadsticks, all for just $25. You can pick up, delivery, dine in, DoorDash, whatever it might be. Be a winner at dinner with the $25 medium pizza family meal deal. This is not cheap, average, fast chain pizza. This is pizza with crust, handmade every day and topped generously with fresh ingredients made by local owner-operators who obsess over every slice. Add a salad, pasta, or sandwich to make any picky eater happy. Order online at chicagospizza.com. Click on your closest location and order the $25 medium pizza family meal deal. 25 is the special number, $25 medium pizza family meal deal, and 25 Indiana locations, 18 of them in Central Indiana. Make the entire family happy tonight. Even better, make yourself happy tonight with Chicago's Pizza. Chicago's Pizza, where there's a story told in every slice.
I'm Mark Boyle, voice of the Indiana Pacers. For your best shot at better water, go local with C&J Water. They're Hoosiers serving Hoosiers, bringing cleaner, safer, better-tasting water to homes across Central Indiana. When you purchase a new water softener in November or December, C&J Water donates to the Pacers Foundation, helping those in need here at home. Better water for your family, helping those in need at home and abroad. For your best shot at better water, trust the local pros at C&J Water.
The Pacers welcome the Boston Celtics to the Fieldhouse this evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Well, we're waiting.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Text line, a reference right here from Nick at 317-239-1070. Where exactly is the Eel Dome? Oh, crank this up for me, would you, Corbin? From Pyromania, this is Def Leppard and Foolin'. Belt that out, Joe Elliott. 142, that State Road 142 will take you from 67 to 39 to 142 in Morgan County. At the intersection of 142 and 42, you will find Eminence, Indiana. Now, if you go a little bit further to the west, you'll run into 231, a little bit to the north of 42, which ultimately will take you up to Little Point. And anybody that knows this, Little Point is an exit off of I-70. That is how you get down there from here. Eminence, Indiana, everybody, the Eel Dome. I have no idea where Seven Oaks is located, though. That is something. Hey, JMV, hopefully Ballard and Steichen are both gone, so a new general manager will decide on the quarterback situation. I'm telling you, I think the quarterback situation is decided upon right now. And double back with Daniel Jones, expedite the rehab, and see where you are. Yeah, I know. Can you do both general manager and coach, or can you keep the coach and the general manager, or vice versa? Jolie Erickson of the Star, top of the hour, the latest on DeForest Buckner and the return of Ryman and Sauce Gardner. And obviously the situation must win beyond must win, and then must have others do some stuff for you as well. Joel, top of the hour, Win Schuler Spreadability. Yeah, make sure that is on your snacking table this weekend. And then as you get into the new year, Win Schuler Spreadability. you'll find those cheese spreads, Neiman's Harvest Market in Carmel, Gordon's Food Service, and Meyer locations throughout the state of Indiana. That is Wynn Schuler's. Back with Hour 2 and Joel A. Erickson to the store on the other side. Don't go anywhere. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hey, Johnny, for LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. LD Smith Plumbing and Drains at 317-927-7186. Man, big time melting is going on, right? I mean, the warmer temperatures, you've got some melting going on. What happens is if you have any compromised drains, meaning are they clogged, that could mess up some things in and around your foundation of your home. You don't want that whatsoever, so call upon the best. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. Anything plumbing they can do, and certainly making sure you have clog-free drains. That is of high level of importance this time of year. Give them a call, 317-927-7186. That's Lance and LD Smith Plumbing and Drains online, ldsmithplumbing.com.
Hi, I'm Dallas, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You know she loves her Shane Company engagement ring, but you also want to surprise her for her birthday, anniversary, or just because she deserves it. Why not get her a bigger diamond with our Easy Trade-Up program? We'll give you the full credit of your original natural diamond purchase toward a new one. Her new diamond only has to be $1 more. You only pay the difference. How's that for an easy trade-up? Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I mentioned this a little bit earlier, too. You got the Pacers later on tonight, right? So you can do a little pregame, a little postgame in a block away from the field house at the District Tap. Michael and the gang got it set up for you, too. You're not going to miss a second of any sports on the big screens. You're going to find right now happy hour specials beyond compare. So a great way to pregame, and then a packed place to have some fun postgame. And, oh, by the way, did I mention damn good food? Musical experiences too, all that and then some. That's downtown next to the field house, but also at Clearwater Crossing. They got you set up at the District Tap. All that and then some for a great experience on the north side at Clearwater Crossing and in downtown Indy. To find out more, that's thedistricttap.com.
Marcus Morris here with Family Heating and Air. As we're reaching colder weather, you may find yourself in need of furnace service. At Family, we specialize in solutions to extend your furnace life. Call the Fix-It team from Family. You can easily reach us at familyhvac.net. From our family to yours, have a happy holiday.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
107.5 The Fan and Franciscan Health present Good for the Heart Fridays. Listen to Jake Query every Friday to hear a heartwarming story from our local community. Jake knows firsthand the importance of heart health. Jake and the Fan have teamed up with Franciscan Health to make a difference, one beat at a time. Good for the Heart Fridays, brought to you by Franciscan Health Heart Center. Learn proactive measures to keep your heart healthy and schedule your heart scan at franciscanhealth.org/screening bundles.
Hey, it's JMV for the best in realty. Mark Dietel, Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. Again, that number, 317-755-4232. MarkDietel.com, MarkDietel.com today. So Neil in Indianapolis had already moved, listed his old house with an agent friend for about 60 days. Not happy, decided to evaluate the Mark Dietel marketing plan and switched. To his relief, after about 15 days on the market, the Mark Dietel team sold his home as is for the price that was necessary. Mark Dietel, the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. That's Mark Dietel. Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755 4232. MarkDietel.com. That's MarkDietel.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Your Colts game day experience, the best it can be. Log on and get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis. The top-ranked Hoosiers face the Crimson Tide of Alabama in the Rose Bowl. New Year's Day at 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Son, you got a panty on your head. You drive fast, eh?
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
So the Pacers continue to weave in and out of their roster players. Micah Potter, the big man, the latest new face. They have waived guard Garrison Matthews, and James Wiseman was back in town for about 15 seconds, and now he's gone too. That, according to the Pacers, a little bit earlier today. You get the Celtics and the Pacers later on tonight. Tip time, 7 o'clock, 6:30. Your coverage begins. That follows Colts Happy Hour with me, 5:30 until 6:30 for that coming up later on tonight. And, of course, you've got the Colts and the Ride to kick off 9 a.m. with me. BullseyeEventGroup.com and the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. I'll give you a chance to win some passes. All you can eat, all you can drink. I mean, you got the party. Long odds on anything else. But the party, the pregame party is going to be there. BullseyeEventGroup.com. Your chance to win coming up. Don't go anywhere. Meantime, Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Let's start out by wishing happy holidays and what is going to be on the inbound, a brand new year, 2026, to our good friend from the Indianapolis Star who covers the Colts. It is Joel A. Erickson on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So a lot to talk about, and I'm assuming for Colts fans, because you have to get one of those big Texas Instruments calculators with the old red digits back in the day with buttons you didn't know what the hell they meant to figure out how the Colts will get into the postseason if they're able to position themselves that way. You might as well go have a nice pregame party, right? Sunday? Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would hold off on the Texas Instruments calculator just because I hated those things. I'd hold off on it until you see the Chargers-Texans result tomorrow. If the Chargers win, by all means, break it out. But let's get through that one first.
Yeah, and then you have to worry about this team winning. And, oh, by the way, some good fortune shining a light on this team and organization, which is a rarity. The latest of that is with DeForest Buckner. Re-aggravated IR surgery coming up here, too. What is the latest on that situation? And certainly it looks like, as they've talked about today, Joel, that they are sure that he's going to be back. Everybody wants to be back and playing again next year, correct?
Yeah. Shane Steichen said that they do, expect the surgery to go well, and then he'll be back. But I do think it's important to just note that, in the last couple of weeks before he came back last week against San Francisco, Buckner was unusually forthcoming about the severity of that injury and some of the thoughts that went through his head about just a neck injury, a spinal injury. Herniated disc, obviously. I think the way he turned it was like, that's not just a football decision, that's a life decision. And so, just I kind of marked that away, because if people remember that normally when Buckner gets hurt, he won't tell us about it until the next year when it's all gone. So for him to be that forthcoming about what he was dealing with and the severity of the injury and what he had to think about, I think that's something you got to take note of going forward.
So Joel A. Erickson of the Stars, kind enough to join us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Again, this is going to be saved until the season is actually complete. But I do constantly, Joel, find myself thinking about, if indeed this is the same team, not much changes, or let's just say, for example, everything does, how much of the veteran presence that we know still will be here. A majority, certainly you're going to lose somebody and try to make some additions here or there, but those things start bouncing around in your head when it becomes a foregone conclusion at the end of the year, and those are some of the things I've been thinking about here recently.
Yeah, I think, if assuming everyone's back, I think that the places that to me look like the spots you look at overhauling the most are defensive end and that linebacker spot. I think those are the two positions that stick out to me the most as places that you're going to need to upgrade and change going forward, especially with some of the, like a defensive end, 3 of those guys are free agents, and I don't think with the way the edge rush has been the last couple of weeks that you'd bring any of them back necessarily. Linebacker is a position that has been kind of in flux, and they've been moving people in and out until they got Jermaine Pratt, but he's only on a 1-year deal. So I think those are the 2 spots I think that you look at upgrading. And then I think the other question is, what happens at backup quarterback? If you assume that they're back and they believe in Daniel Jones and they re-sign him, where's Anthony Richardson playing next year? If it's not here, who is the backup quarterback next year?
Are they still on the same page enough where Richardson, I say, feel comfortable in playing here? It never seems like that there's any comfort in that. But let's just say they feel comfortable in having him back one more year, or would they rather him investigate opportunities someplace else, and maybe he would agree with that?
They've said all the right things, but I think if you look at it realistically, just knowing how these things usually go in the NFL, usually when you have a starting quarterback for a couple of years and then they bring in another guy and the team gets handed over to that guy, and if they bring that guy back, usually the guy that lost his job is probably going to want another spot. It's just I don't think anyone said anything quite to that nature publicly, but it just feels like that's usually the way these things go. And also, for the most part, people aren't going to tell you that there's something like that coming publicly. It's just generally you don't see people hanging on to those things over the course of another year.
That is Joel A. Erickson of the Star on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So DeForest Buckner is done for the season after re-aggravating the neck injury. He's got surgery coming up. And both Bernhard Raimann and Sauce Gardner look to make returns coming up on Sunday. At what type of a level, and I'm assuming Raimann comes back as Raimann here, but what about Sauce Gardner? Will this be a sporadic participation or close to full scale? What's your expectation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if they put him right back into an every snap type of situation, but maybe they do feel that good about him going out there, or is it a 75% of the snaps, that type of thing. I would assume that with it being a calf, that they've gotten him back to the point where we see it all the time. People are just very, very cautious with that in any sport. And so maybe they do feel like he can go a full complement of snaps. I mean, they could obviously use him in that role. I'll be curious to see how they handle it, especially with them saying, the Achilles wasn't affected.
Yeah, that it is interesting. Here's something. Not winning on American soil is how I put it since before Halloween. Obviously, they've won in Berlin before the bye week against the Falcons. Is there anything to be said about the effect to losing out in what is, in totality, the decision Carly Ursay Gordon will end up making on the future of this team?
Well, I think that's the crux of the decision. The crux of the decision is, do you feel good enough about what the team looked like before injuries hit that you're willing to move forward? Or are you making a decision that's based more on the totality of, in my opinion, the general manager's tenure here? Because I think it's probably I think it's hard to get too upset about what Shane Steichen's done in his first 3 years, just based on the quarterback, flux and situation you've had. So that's kind of what I think it is, and I think it's hard to predict. We haven't had Carl Irsay-Gordon making this decision before. Usually when you're trying to figure out how teams are going to do things, you go back to what's been done before, but this is her show now, and her father is not in charge anymore, and so that means we have to start, learning and banking new situations.
So you think this comes down to only what has transpired this season and, really no infiltration of what has taken place in the past?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because the hard part is, the only answer we have on it is, she was asked in the introductory press conference for all three daughters, is this a playoffs or bust season? And her answer was, well, I need to know what happened. Did we get decimated by injury? What are the factors that go into that? That could be the way she's thinking. She also could have a larger, more big picture evaluation that maybe she didn't allude to in that answer. So I think it's tough to know.
Yeah, it's weird too, because I come across as two different ways here, Joel. I think my opinion is, all right, they've exhausted all avenues. Enough is enough. But that's not my belief in what happens, because my belief in what happens is, all right, so you had this late season fade. Obviously, your quarterback situation was compromised. You're going to bring this guy back again and hope to be, I'm assuming, the starter, hopefully as soon as possible from their angle. But the other part about this is you're kind of soaking in, personnel-wise, the situation that you're in right now. And, maybe they draw a conclusion, if you're going to be here, these guys might as well still be here for it. I know that doesn't sound good to the fans, and it's certainly not what I believe should occur. But sitting here right now, and really ever since the trade deadline, I've often thought that's how this is going to go down. That's the moment when you decided to continue with this regime, was the moment you went out and traded those 2 first-rounders for Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, and obviously, if you look at it like there's a way to look at it like that. We also know, honestly, ownership of a team can do whatever it wants.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think this has any bearing on what happens here. But if you look at a situation like Tennessee's done about 3 things in the last 4 years that I don't know that I would have logically saw coming. Namely, the biggest one is letting go of the head coach who's now trying to get to the 1 seed with the Patriots. So I think it's difficult to predict, because we don't really have anything that we're thinking of as, well, the Colts have done this before. It wasn't with this ownership group in charge, and so to me, it's we need to start building up our a new set of what a team's going to do, and it really starts with this decision here at the end of this season.
Hey, Joel, are you cool with, let's say, one or the other? If you don't do one, for example, the coach or the general manager, do you keep the other for the continuity? Are you a believer in that at all? Or, again, I know these are things we don't get. I'm just actually asking you personally what your belief might be.
I think it's naive. I think getting rid of one and keeping the other is naive. Like, the reality of the situation is that most of the time in the NFL, unless you're talking about, say, a super established head coach, I think generally if you get rid of one, you're just one. Like, especially, I guess what I'm talking about is if you get rid of a general manager and leave a head coach.
Right.
I think ultimately what you're maybe lying to yourself about who you're hiring. And the reality of the situation is you're going to end up making a move at head coach. And I think to go back to the Titans, that's one of the situations that sort of tells me that. Because you remember when they first fired the general manager before Vrabel, everyone was like, okay, the takeaway from this is Vrabel has won this battle for front office supremacy, and he's the guy going forward. He was gone like a half a year later from the new GM. So I just think it's a little bit naive to think it can work.
Joey Erickson of the Star, he's kind enough to join us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. And again, these are all things kind of tough to be in this situation with 2 games to go, but I think we can start to maybe look at this a little bit more and at least talk about it. You mentioned how much they would like to see DeForest Buckner back, and these situations also make you wonder if you have veteran guys that maybe don't see this thing being put together in a winning mode right now, that want to maybe find a different situation, a more winnable type of situation. Do you foresee that at all with anybody within on this roster? You don't have to tell me who it might be, but just I know you always maybe have 1 or 2 in that capacity, but is that something you kind of envision moving forward here? Any veterans that have that feeling?
I don't think so. I think one of the things that is kind of tough on the outside is it feels like, and then obviously they have collapsed. Like there's a huge collapse here. But I think on the inside it probably feels more like, hey, we were really headed for something special before the injuries happened. And that's more of the sense of what I would guess I would expect from the Colts internally from the players themselves if they decide to come back with Daniel Jones. Is we were 7-1, we were 8-2 before injuries really started to cripple us.
So Joey Erickson with us. So Jacksonville, the competition coming up on Sunday. We saw that act in Jacksonville, which is certainly usual, the norm in terms of the Colts going down there. But what's this Jacksonville team from what you have seen so far? Obviously, it starts with the coach and what the coach has done with the quarterback to a consistency point that I think a lot of us thought maybe we would not see with Trevor Lawrence.
Well, I think the interesting thing is that, like, I'm not completely sold that the consistency is there. I do think he's hot. He's on a hot streak right now where he's the last 4 games numbers are great, but going into that Colts game, that first one in Jacksonville, if you looked at his numbers, one of the matchup things I remember thinking is which Trevor are they going to get? Now, he's done it for a couple games in a row here, but that's kind of the story of his career so far. And the question is, how long does that go? Can he carry it into next year? I don't think we've seen any of that stuff so far.
It's Texans and Chargers at 4:30 coming up tomorrow. And that's going to tell you basically all you need to know. Dictate the terms for Sunday right there, starting at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that keeps coming up this week is that it's just from a timing standpoint, there's been a lot of questions of, well, if they're eliminated, would Phillip Rivers start? Well, he kind of has to because, they're finishing up their preparation, and even in getting ready tomorrow, they'll be finished with all their practice sessions for the week, and then they find out what happens in the Chargers Texans game. And so it really would be unfair to a Riley Leonard if you were going to go, okay, well, we're going to wait and see, and you're not going to get any of the snaps because that's just not how the NFL works, where the backup's getting a bunch of snaps at practice and then change it at the last minute and throw him in there. So I think it's one of the quirks of timing of this sort of elongated schedule that the NFL has now, where teams are playing on Thursday, teams are playing on Saturday, teams are playing on Sunday and Monday.
Was that Monday night defensive performance the worst you've seen from a Colts team since you've been here?
Yeah, I think the Giants game last year was still.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the Giants game. Just because there's a big difference between, a since fired Brian Dable coordinating a Drew Lock offense versus Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy, who we know work well together.
Yeah, Shanahan, he was running circles around everybody, which he has done in the past, but he certainly did on Monday night, and there was just zero resistance whatsoever defensively. on Monday. So, and it was weird, too, because I know what you're talking about with the personnel and the coach, but I think everybody kind of expected that in Seattle. And then when you hold Seattle to 6 field goals in the Seahawks win, you kind of go into that San Francisco game thinking, all right, well, if the defense can put together back-to-back performances, and, it's the worst that we had seen in a while, or at least on that list.
Yeah, and I think the thing that stuck out to me about last week is just going into that game, you knew, I think we all knew that San Francisco, because of McCaffrey in the passing game, because of Kittle in the passing game, was sort of uniquely suited to attack this middle of the Colts defense that has struggled against the pass this season. I was surprised. I think the thing that surprised me was how easy it was, since going into it, Lou Anarumo's whole thing is supposed to be you take away the other team's best player. Well, those are the two guys I would have circled going into the game, and they both had big games. I think that's the part that really sticks out to me is just that, yes, I know they were uniquely suited, but then they did they beat the Colts by doing exactly what we thought they would do.
Joel, I hope you're having a great holiday, and we'll see you down there coming up on Sunday once again. Thanks, as always, for joining us, buddy.
You bet. We'll see you on Sunday.
Joel A. Erickson, also, you can catch him on Fox 59 with Chris Hagan, First and Joel on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So I mentioned, too, Texans-Chargers tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. That's the one that Colts fans certainly will be watching. Ravens and Packers soon to follow. NFL Network 4:30, Texans-Chargers. Peacock, you're getting peacocked. Yesterday was so stupid of the NFL. Good Lord. Netflix and Prime. And I wasn't going to waste my time even giving two craps about the schedule yesterday because it sucked. So I watched NBA. I was bummed about the Pacers because certainly they earn more than that given their situation right now. You know why they weren't involved, and you were glad of it. But at the same time, it still sucked. Ravens, Packers, by the way, no Jordan Love. Malik Willis will get to start under center for the Packers at home against the Ravens coming up tomorrow evening as well. Quick break, we'll come back. Mike Wells, bottom of the hour. Wells going to rejoin us from ESPN Radio this week. Anything from Don? Because I haven't heard from Don either. He may be on holiday hiatus, which is okay. And I'm assuming that's going to have a profound effect on the hour table possibilities for me later on tonight as well. Stream the app. HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge. Become a AAA member today and thank me later for it, I promise. Bullseye Pass is coming up as well. Man, hope you're having a great holiday regardless of what your teams are doing. And look at that. Good Lord Almighty. I didn't even that just went limp. Need a little microphone Viagra right there or something. What the hell? Bullseye passes to give away. Hopefully you're having a great holiday. I am right there with you, even if your teams aren't doing that well. And I do have a bit of a sobering thought for you coming up a little bit later on, too. So sit tight for that. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
This is the Colts Preview on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Here's the voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Colts Preview, and we're inside the Indiana Union Construction Industry Radio Studio. Colts back on the practice field today on this post-Christmas Friday, getting ready for Week 17 and a rematch against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Colts today ruled out center Tanner Bortolini with a concussion, wide receiver Anthony Gould with a foot, tight end Drew Ogletree with a neck, and defensive end JT Tuimoloau with an oblique injury. Elsewhere, defensive tackle DeForest Buckner with a neck will be placed on injured reserve. Colts head coach Shane Steichen said today Buckner will undergo a procedure next week after re-aggravating that injury on Monday Night Football against the 49ers. Buckner was making his return from IR after missing 5 games with that injury. Steichen also said that Buckner is expected to return next season following his procedure to hopefully more permanently fix his issue. Cornerback Sauce Gardner with a calf participated in practice today, and he is expected to be back in the lineup after missing the last 3 games. That's the good news for the Colts defense. And left tackle Bernard Ryman with an elbow also practiced this week and should be back in the fold on Sunday after missing last week's game with San Francisco. Also expect to see Danny Pinter make his first start of the season at center, and we could also see Will Mallory in the lineup with Ogletree's injury. As of now, the Colts are still alive to make the playoffs. However, that could change tomorrow. The Texans play the Chargers tomorrow afternoon in L.A. That game's on NFL Network. And should the Texans win, the Colts would be eliminated from the postseason for the 5th straight season. If the Chargers win, the Colts would still be alive and would need to win their final 2 games of the season to at least have a chance at postseason play. The Colts are looking to break a 5-game losing skid. The Jaguars are on a 6-game heater, and Jacksonville has already clinched a playoff berth for just the 9th time in club history, but they're also still in search of an AFC South title, and the top seed in the conference is still within grasp as well for the Jaguars. Jacksonville beat the Colts 3 weeks ago in northern Florida, and the Colts need the defense to show up on Sunday. The 49ers put 40-plus points on the Colts on Monday, and the Jaguars are averaging 34 points per game in the last month, which is the top mark in the NFL. Sunday's game starts at 1. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. with the Colts pregame huddle, and all 9 hours of Sunday's coverage can be heard right here and on our sister station, 97.1 Hank FM. And that's it for the Colts preview today on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, thank you, Matt. And let's go with Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations, state of Indiana, one near you. Incredible beer deals going on right now. Let's beer down and have and take advantage of awesome deals. Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light products, 16-ounce, 18-pack cans. We are talking about a savings of $2 here, $22.99 for you. Grab yourself a koozie as well. How about Yingling Family 24-pack cans, now just $26.99. Modelo 24-pack cans. Hey, check out Modelo Oro, the low-calorie beer that you'll dig right there. Just $34.99 for that 24-pack. Big craft beer cans also on sale right now. Founders Family on sale. And Sun Cruiser Family 8-pack cans now just $17.99. Happy New Year to everybody. Celebrate the right way. Celebrate the responsible way, but make sure you make that stop at Big Red Liquors. Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations throughout the state of Indiana. There's one near you, powering the JMV takeover as we enter on New Year's Eve, hopefully, Season 6 of the JMV takeover. To find that location and the deals nearest you, that's BigRedLiquors.com.
Hey, Colts fans, Crown Royal is a proud partner of the Indianapolis Colts, and this season it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
High-level snackage, everybody. Crackers, chips, vegetables, all the spreadability. The tubs and the spreadability of Win Schuler's. You're going to love it with original sharp cheddar bacon and cheddar and jalapeno pepper. Friends out there, I would not direct you to inaccuracy. I'm all about the snacking, the elite-level snacking that Win Schuler's brings to you, and you can find every single tub of Win Schuler's. Seriously. Neiman's Harvest Market in Carmel. What a great location, too. Find Win Schuler's, Gordon's Food Service. Find Win Schuler's at any Meijer location throughout the state of Indiana. Snacking is not going to be elite until you get yourself Win Schuler's just in time for that New Year's Eve celebration. It's Win Schuler's. Tell them JMV sent you.
This Christmas, get a bonus AI Essentials course when you enroll in any My Computer Career IT program by the end of the year. That's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. an elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
If you or someone you know needs help putting food on the table, that help is closer than you think. The Fan cares. We've partnered with local food banks and organizations to provide resources for those who need them. Just go to 1075thefan.com and look for the banner that says Find Free Food near you. You'll find a link to Community Compass with an up-to-date and interactive map that shows locations, days, and times for you to collect food at no cost, as well as other resources to help you through this challenging time. Find community help now at 1075thefan.com.
Hey there, it's Jake Query with a question for you. What are your dinner plans? Or do you even have a plan? I want you to be a hero tonight. Be a winner. Be a champion as a dinner provider. Get the Chicago's $25 medium pizza special tonight. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas and an order of fresh hot breadsticks, all for just $25. You can pick up, delivery, dine in, DoorDash, whatever it might be. Be a winner at dinner with the $25 medium pizza family meal deal. This is not cheap, average, fast chain pizza. This is pizza with crust, handmade every day and topped generously with fresh ingredients made by local owner-operators who obsess over every slice. Add a salad, pasta, or sandwich to make any picky eater happy. Order online at chicagospizza.com. Click on your closest location and order the $25 medium pizza family meal deal. 25 is the special number, $25 medium pizza family meal deal, and 25 Indiana locations, 18 of them in Central Indiana. Make the entire family happy tonight. Even better, make yourself happy tonight with Chicago's Pizza. Chicago's Pizza, where there's a story told in every slice.
Get ready for heel-tapping fun as you discover the new $2 Wizard of Oz scratch-off from the Hoosier Lottery. With 4 unique scenes and prizes up to $10,000, the Emerald City awaits. From the Hoosier Lottery, champions of play. Play responsibly.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GEAR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
This is Chris with Absolute Comfort. We just want to thank you and your family for business that you've passed to us this year. Our families appreciate everything that you do for us, and we just want to let you know that if you have needs for your man cave or your she shed or whatever the thing is for a family member that you love, we just ask that you give us a call, and we've got some different ideas for you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Absolute Comfort is your Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless dealer.
The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Let's see if we can get our next guest here from ESPN Radio, Mike Wells, in tune with what's going on here right now. Mike, we're going to catch you in mid-flight right here on this song. You're ready to go? Let me get you a good break for it. Mike Wells of ESPN Radio. Here you go.
Get myself together for the very next thing. But when I get down to your eyes and hair, such a beautiful town. The way you dress and walk, it really turns me on. Oh yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come and talk to me. I really wanna meet you. Can I talk to you?
I got a question for you. So Jodeci, Devontae Swing, Mr. Dalvin, Casey, and JoJo that formed 1988, Charlotte, North Carolina. Is this R&B, hip-hop soul, or New Jack Swing? Mike Wells.
Man. I'm gonna say it's more New Jack Swing. This is more of a Teddy Riley type New Jack Swing, but it can go in some legit R&B, straight baby making.
Yeah.
Let's get freaky, licky type stuff going on with this.
You know, it's unfortunate. This stuff just doesn't happen anymore like that. It just doesn't. There's nothing like this anymore. Nothing.
No.
Zero.
There's no legit hardcore old school R&B where you got a whole group singing. It's usually one, maybe two people, but the three or fours, the new additions, the Jodeci's, the Troops, the Drew Hills, the Jagged Edges, that type of stuff does not exist anymore. Those things are gone. Yeah.
Blackstreet. Yeah. Shy. Oh, I'm going to say this, too. This album, Forever My Lady, that was it right there. That was it in the day.
I mean, think about Forever My Lady, Come and Talk to Me.
Mm-hmm.
You had Stay.
Mm-hmm.
Stay a little while. So, it was definitely, let's just say, listening to this old school R&B, me, sneaking in the closet and looking at my dad's Playboy magazines. It was a time back then, brother. A time back then.
What was your favorite Playboy of all time? Who was in it?
Oh, I had two of them. One,
yes, that's okay.
LaToya Jackson was on the front. I'll never forget. She had like a boa constrictor around her neck, late 80s, early 90s.
Right on.
And then there was one. They had the college girls at the SEC, and our girl from Growing Pains, Julie, from Growing Pains.
Yeah.
She was on the cover of that one. And mind you, both of those Playboy magazines were 30 plus years ago. And I still remember it like it was yesterday, brother.
The deeply religious Kirk Cameron at the time probably was all up against that when she was a part of the show back then. But I will say this. The girls of the Big Ten, I always liked finding out who was in from the girls of the Big Ten from both IU and Purdue, and especially since I was from around Bloomington, tried to find out who that was. And I wonder do you think any girls of the Big Ten are still around Indianapolis right now that were in?
Shoot, hey, any of the girls that were in from IU, they're probably down in Bloomington still, hanging out at upstairs and Nick's.
I'm willing to bet, and I don't know how many they had from IU, but I'm willing to bet there are at least two former girls of the Big Ten that are in this area someplace. You know that they're in Hamilton County someplace. You know that.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. Yes. Man, they need to use, if they're listening, if anybody knows them, they probably need to call into the show, brother.
I'm telling you, if you're a former girls of the Big Ten and Playboy, either IU or Purdue, give us a call right here. And we'll put you on and we'll talk about the experience back in the day. But no, I go way back. I go back to the cornrows of Bo Derek still. Between that and Jane Kennedy back in the late 70s, that has me.
Do they even make Playboy still? Playboy magazines?
No, they do not. Unfortunately.
It's probably the online edition. You got to subscribe to it.
Yeah,
like newspapers.
It is weird too, Mike. We live in a world in which I would have said when things were thriving, if we were, I wouldn't want to live in a world without a lot of what we're living without right now. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I was thinking about this the other day. Remember when everybody used to give you for Christmas, and I know you can do gift cards now, but there was always something special about getting McDonald's gift certificates, right?
Oh, the paper certificates.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and you had. I remember I had one with Grimace on it. Grimace was on that one.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Mayor McCheese. I don't even know if Mayor McCheese still exists now. What the hell? I can't live in a world like that. I can't.
Hey, let me ask you this: if you had to pick between the two professional franchises in this city right now, I mean, in the Colts and the Pacers, which franchise would you say is more abysmal? The Pacers or the Colts right now?
More visible, or did you say invisible?
No, abysmal.
Oh,
miserable. Which one is more miserable?
I think because you're over 500, you probably would say it's the Pacers. See, that's a weird dynamic because this gap season with the Pacers, everybody expects. I mean, this is an absolute disaster with the Colts. So I would say Colts probably, right? Because not only has this become a disaster, and it has, right? I mean, because you have the potential to lose out. You haven't won a game, on American soil since Halloween. And you have the potential of losing out and you were once 7-1 and 8-2. So that's an absolute disaster. You traded 2 first-rounders away for Sauce Gardner. That's a disaster. I think other than some of the effort, you're finding out with the Pacers, a lot of these dudes that were cool with seeing in the future, and maybe a couple of dudes you're okay without seeing for the future. So that's still a gap year, and that's still expected. This is just another in a long line of failures from a Colts angle.
Yeah, it's crazy that the highlight of that game on Monday night, and listen, pick six, people can say, well, he threw a pick six. They weren't going to win the game at that point, talking about Phillip Rivers. But the fact that he was the highlight of the nationally televised game on Monday night. The guy who was probably looking more like had a dad bod over the last few years in retirement was the highlight of Monday Night Football on national TV. That defense got filleted, legit sharp knife filleted.
Well, their coaching staff got the same thing from Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, yeah. It is. You know, it's funny. I went to lunch this afternoon with Gary Washburn, covers the Celtics for the Boston Globe, and he was talking about the Colts. He's a big NFL guy. And I said, honestly, they're likely not going to win a game again this season. They're going to end the season on a 7-game losing streak. After looking like everybody was talking about, looking at the road to the AFC Championship game, potentially was going to go through Lucas Oil Stadium to closing out the season on a 7-game losing streak. And yes, we know the quarterback situation, but I think what we've seen is that the issues go beyond just not having Daniel Jones out there.
Yeah, I've said this, and I'm going to stand by it. Like, what I believe should happen is not what is going to happen. Because what is going to happen is they're going to stick with the path that they chose during the trade deadline. So I think that's the path they're going to choose. And, not the one that I had back in January was just going ahead and wiping the slate clean and moving forward, which I think now would probably have been the better path, because all the first 2 months of the season did for Colts fans out there is just give them a ridiculous tease only to let them down and really position this organization in a much worse situation for the next couple of years than it would have been had they decided to go ahead and reset back in January or the start of the year.
I mean, let's put it like that. You said we can equate the first third of the season, the 8-2 start was like, when you were looking at the Playboy as a kid, you're like, man, I might have a chance with this hot lady. And these hot ladies in the Playboy magazine, and then reality set in, and you're like, nope, I don't have a chance. I don't have a chance at all. But you look at this quarterback, obviously, hope that Daniel Jones can get back out there. No first-round pick. Forrest Buckner goes on IR today with after re-injuring, and you got to think of that. You got to all right, that's twice. He's dealt with his injury. You start wondering, all right, is he going to be able to bounce back and be himself again? Obviously, Sauce Gardner looks like he's going to play this weekend, but there's no first-round pick. Where are you going to find a pass rush at? It's just they better find a rabbit's foot in the hat this offseason.
Big time. Mike Wells of ESPN Radio is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. By the way, are you on ESPN Radio anytime here soon?
Yeah, next Saturday.
Nice.
So a week from tomorrow. Got a 4-hour show. Not with your buddy from down in Kentucky. I won't be with him, so you're good on that one.
Have you not been with Matt Jones here recently?
I haven't been on with him since that time. You heard him killing IU.
He was such a
3-4 years ago.
Yeah, he's something. They love him down the hillbillies love him in the Commonwealth though.
So I'll be next Saturday 9 p.m. 1 a.m. So hopefully I'll be talking about IU football. Moving on to the semifinals to down to Georgia the following week. So I love being on ESPN Radio after an IU football game.
Not bad. You just tell everybody, to stick it.
Hell yeah. A lot of self-promotion on that. I'm actually going to hit my first Pacers game up tonight. Check them out against the Celtics. Take my boy Tate on there.
I saw Sam Cassell on the street a little bit earlier.
Oh, you did? Hey, listen. Sam Cassell, top 3 guys I ever covered when he was in Minnesota. Him and the Big Onions after hitting the jumper over Doug Christie in the semifinals.
I had
JMV Onions on that type of jumper.
I had a listener, Alan, to the show a little bit earlier when I mentioned that, said back in 1999, the night before a noon playoff game, I ran into Sam Cassell at I think it's called Barrett's Nightclub at Michigan, 71st and Michigan Road, and he closed the place down. See, and he probably went out and put like 25 up right after that, too. He could close a bar down and then put up numbers. That is talent right there, brother.
No, that is. Hey, how's that Sunday pregame going to be for you, man?
It's going to be great. Well, I mean, it's what's fun. I mean, if the Texans lose with the Chargers, I mean, there's still something legit to talk about. If not, you'll be – I mean, really, you should be anyway because there's a foregone conclusion outside of just it being etched in stone that they're done. But I don't know. It's kind of it is. I will say this, Mike. It's familiar territory, right? Because it's not like we haven't recently been down this particular path, or I haven't had to host shows, regarding that at the tail end of seasons that are incredibly disappointing. It's the way this has went down that is different. And I will ask you this in closing. Because you brought up IU football, a lot to think about this. Because on the back end, you want IU football and Purdue basketball to continue to win at a high level, because there's really not a lot left here. Like what we got last year was magical. It truly was magical. But when you think about the grand scheme of things and you wonder about IU basketball, what they might do when the Big Ten season gets underway once again, there's really not a lot to get fired up about around here. So hopefully a long-lasting IU football run and the college football playoff and Purdue after that. Hopefully.
No, listen, I told a bunch of my students who cover IU football, I said, I really hope I don't see y'all the first week of classes.
Yeah.
I said, I want you guys to be down in Florida and you will have excused absences in my classroom. I want IU football to keep rolling. But no, more importantly, you're right. Between that and Purdue basketball, the excitement of sports, which, remember last year, it was what the Pacers were doing. You got DeVries in there, some hype behind that, Signetti getting to the college football playoffs. Now you're banking on the national title and Purdue playing in the Final Four in their backyard the first week of April.
Yep, and college athletics and free agency, which is constant and which is trickling down to high school now. College and high school free agency, that's really fun. So, yeah, there it is.
Exactly.
In a nutshell.
No.
All right, my friend, I hope you guys are having a great holiday. You and Tay enjoy the game coming up later on tonight. We'll catch back in with you next week and see how things are going on ESPN Radio.
Hey, this week. Hey, happy New Year's too, brother. It'll be January 2nd when I'm back with you.
Well, you got to be listening on New Year's Eve because I've got a new system to deal with here in the new building and the new studio on B105.7, and I have zero idea how to run it. So it is going to be an entertaining disaster on New Year's Eve that you probably should listen to.
Hey, I will just for that, brother. Hey,
yeah.
Hey, kick butt as usual, man. I'll talk to you next week.
Mike Wells of ESPN Radio, the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Kyle Whittingham is the new coach at Michigan. 5-year deal, according to our friend Dan Wetzel. Michigan has found their new football coach, the former Utah Runnin' Ute head man Kyle Whittingham. Gets the gig in Ann Arbor. Win Schuler, speaking of the state of Michigan, Win Schuler spreadability, high-level snacking for you. You can find Win Schuler's at your favorite Gordon's or Meijer location throughout the state of Indiana. Bullseye passes, a lot more coming up for you as well. Don't go anywhere. And your calls at 239-1070. This is 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Barrington Jewels is your holiday home of the finest gifts, like breathtaking diamonds, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and a wide selection of gemstones. Barrington also offers exquisite watch brands like Oris, Junghans, and Tutima, as well as fine pre-owned timepieces from many top brands. From watches to necklaces and pendants, earrings, or even an engagement ring, you'll find the perfect holiday gift at Barrington. Visit Barrington Jewels in Clearwater Crossing. And remember, you haven't seen a diamond until you've seen a Barrington diamond.
Johnny with a great idea. Bullseye, eventgroup.com. The pregame party is on, coming up on Sunday. Doors open at 10 a.m. Bullseye, eventgroup.com with the Colts VIP tailgate. Presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Now you know all about it, too. It is the party to attend. All you can eat, all you can drink. Skids, who's going to do the JMV takeover, also will be a part of this, the entertainment. Laura Steele, our good friend, will be down there, too. Kelsey Murphy, the celebrity chef from a really high-level Master Chef winner from Fishers, Indiana. She's outstanding. You will love it. It is a great time to be had Sunday before the Colts take on the Jaguars. And speaking of that, how about number 30, Corbin, right now? Number 30, 30 on the text line at 317-239-1070. Number 30, I'm going to give you a pair of passes to be a part of the BullseyeEventGroup.com Colts VIP tailgate coming up on Sunday. Again, doors open at 10 a.m. If you're not good enough, in this case, lucky enough, fortunate enough to be number 30, make sure you're a part of this event, too. Log on and get your passes right now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The following is a district-wide service announcement from the District Tap.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. Wait, hey, can we say that? Damn good food?
Yes, I'm told that damn good food is totally acceptable. Go ahead and pick it up from there.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. And don't get me started on all the sports at the tap. Over 60 big f***ing screens with as much NFL and collegiate football action as you can handle. Weeknight matchups? Yeah, we have weeknight games. Looking for a spot downtown to catch that game? Get your ass over to our new downtown location at the corner of Georgia Street and Meridian. Game on at the District Tap. How's that?
Fantastic.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. North at 82nd Street, just east of Keystone at the Crossing, and downtown at the corner of Georgia Street and Meridian. Online at thedistricttap.com.
JMV here, and guys, you've heard of TRT, but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you. Once you start treatment, you'll wish you had done it sooner. Now you can take the TRT test for free at Center Gen X and Low T Center. Walk in before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com. The place for guys to go is Center Gen X and Low T Center for TRT. The TRT test is free, not hundreds of dollars. The testosterone is pure, not compounded. Guys feel full of energy, not like they're still waiting for it to kick in. Get in now for your free TRT test. No appointment necessary before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com. Guys, you're going to wish you had started TRT sooner. Don't you just want to know your level? Find out with the free TRT test at Center Gen X and Low T Center. Walk in before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Center Gen X and Low T Center. Get that free T test today. fixmylowt.com.
The Ride with JMV.
I got nowhere else to go.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
There was something in the air that night. The stars.
Fernando Mendoza. And the Colts are somehow still alive in the AFC playoff picture. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, with a 4% chance Now, you can make it interesting if they went out and the Texans lose out, but we know how that would go. That would take some strong performances and some good fortune, which you haven't been around anything like that, especially good fortune, in a long time. So, anybody out there watch Stranger Things? Corbin, do you?
I made it to season 4.
Did you watch? You didn't watch it last night then? I don't even know what it was. So, my daughter, Lainey, was with her friend Mallory because they're big Stranger Things fans, and they were watching it together last night. And I call Lainey because they had a little sleepover going and watched it. I called Lainey today, and they both vehemently suggested that it was a horrendous episode. And I don't know what that would entail. I just know that normally everybody around here, because it's fictitiously taking place in Indiana and has been so incredibly popular, that sort of opinion normally is not the case. So if you would share your thoughts on exactly what would make that episode so bad. Is it a couple of 15-year-old girls just not liking it, or was there something more?
Well, the biggest complaint I have is how long they've waited to release seasons.
Sure.
So these adults now are playing teenagers. And, I mean, I think Millie Bobby Brown is engaged or married or something now. She's like 22. She's the main star. So that's my biggest complaint. That may be what Lainey's complaining about.
They said it was awful, terrible. And then she went deeply in on the writing. And who am I talking to? What? Well, the writing, it just wasn't good. Oh, I'm sorry, George Lucas. My bad. Sorry, Spielberg. Sorry about that, Scorsese. Settle down a little bit. Didn't like it. Just me, rest of the way. All right, 239-1070. Anything you want to hit, we'll do that coming up after 5. Again, 5:30, I'm going to take you to Colts Happy Hour. After Colts Happy Hour, Pacer pregame with Pat Boylan. Celtics and the Pacers, Gamebridge Fieldhouse later on tonight. Happy holidays, a 5 o'clock hour with just you and I coming up on the other side. I believe that was a hit for Eddie Rabbitt and Crystal Gale, was it not, back in the 1980s? We'll relive that over and over again coming up next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Don't miss your chance to get in on the action of Butler women's basketball. Your next chance to get to Hinkle Fieldhouse is on Sunday, December 28th, when the Butler women's basketball team hosts number 1 UConn at 4 p.m. Come see the sunlight shine through the windows at iconic Hinkle when Butler women's basketball plays in front of a great crowd against the Huskies. Tickets are on sale now at butlersports.com/buy tickets. Be a part of Hinkle Magic and make Hinkle your second home this season.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name, and the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Baseball great Lou Gehrig was known as the Iron Horse for playing 2,130 consecutive games. But it was his reaction to his greatest challenge, the fatal diagnosis of ALS, that made Gehrig a household name and a beacon of strength for all those facing the disease. The Live Like Lou Foundation honors Lou's legacy and inspires hope for a world where ALS is no longer fatal. Donate or volunteer today at livelikeLou.org.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss of 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at Mark Petro StPatrickSeminars.com.
This Christmas, get a bonus AI Essentials course when you enroll in any My Computer Career IT program by the end of the year. That's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-642-8855. That's 800-642-8855.
Need furnace or heat pump service and want to work with a local independent dealer you can trust, like Stevenson Heating and Cooling? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis.
The Ride with JMV.
You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good. So what's the problem? I don't know.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, my apologies if you're not number 30. We still love you guys, but number 30 was the call. BullseyeEventGroup.com and the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. It is going to be about the party coming up on Sunday. And again, the long odds of the postseason for the Colts, the gap year for the Pacers, Micah Potter being signed, Pacers and Celtics later on tonight. That's why I mentioned, and I don't want to get too deeply into it right now, but you're hoping IU can extend in football and then leaning on the Boilermakers. I'm not leaving out IU or Butler or anybody else for that matter, but I'm talking about teams that are at least in our thought that could do something special, because it is going to be few and far between for a while. That is somewhat of a sobering thought. Colts happy hour, bottom of the hour. An hour later, Pat Boylan takes over, Pacer pregame. After that, at 7 o'clock, that tip time, Celtics and the Pacers from Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Meantime, 239-1070 is that number. If you're on the inbound down to the Pacer game and you're listening, you want to dial, you should. Wherever going, whatever you're doing, make sure you take us along with you. And Mike is up first here in the 5 o'clock hour. Hello, Mike. How are you?
JMV, what's up?
Oh, this is Mike in Brooklyn right here. My bad. Hey, did you have a good holiday? Good Christmas?
Yeah, you? Yeah, very nice.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Until after New Year, so
I went to the Longhorn Steakhouse in Terre Haute. I don't know if you could ask for more on Christmas Eve than that, can you, brother? Come on now.
Nah, well, I don't know the place, but sounds good. Longhorn Steakhouse.
It is. The Longhorn Steakhouse is a lot of those locations, and it was good. My mom enjoyed it. My 80-year-old mother enjoyed it, so that's really what mattered. And I drank some beers, and her quote was, "You drink that down quickly." I said, "Thanks." Yes, I do. Go ahead, buddy.
Did she put you on a pitch count or anything?
Yeah. I thought she did put me on a pitch count, matter of fact. I'll be like Sauce Gardner coming up on Sunday. I'll be on a pitch count, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I was thinking about, doing the final autopsy on this team, and then I stopped myself. Stop me if you think I'm being overly cynical, and all the Colts fans out there in the Colt Nation Mecca, but don't we know how this is going to play out? I mean, tomorrow the Chargers are going to beat the Texans. Sunday the Colts are going to play the game of the season. They're going to pull out the win, and it's going to be Week 18, prime time. They're going to put the game in prime time, playing game, and the Colts go to Houston. And in the fourth quarter, they have a lead, maybe a 2-score lead, and then Shane Steichen does something stupid like go for some fourth down play and to Goodman or something, or 3rd and 1, and naturally the defense at the end has to get a stop just to send the team into the playoffs. And they're gonna go down and score, and they're gonna give up the score because that's what they do, and they're gonna send us out in, once again, excruciating fashion instead of just being done with us this weekend.
Oh, so you think you're going to drag this out and just make it worse, right? It's kind of like it's how I explain the season in general, because you had the first 2 months, and now I think most people out there, Mike, and I'm assuming you're one of them, you kind of just wish the first 2 months didn't happen because of just how bad since Halloween things have gone for this team.
I was thinking about this. It's really amazing from where we were at 7-1 and 8-2. And to where they are now, and it happens in Pittsburgh as usual. I remember that 2019 season when they went to Pittsburgh, and it all fell apart from there. And I guess I kind of could have seen it coming, because after that Pittsburgh game, once I heard Shane Steichen say, "Well, we had 6 turnovers, but we got a couple of bad breaks. Usually the ball doesn't bounce that bad." I said, "What kind of a coach says something like that?" You had 6 turnovers. I mean, you lost the game. Well, we played hard, and then after they went to Berlin and they eked out that game, which was really a one-man show by Jonathan Taylor, and the Chiefs game, that was the Rubicon game for me. There was no coming back from that. Blowing that 11-point lead in the Chiefs. It's like the Frank Reich era was the playoff game against the Bills. After the playoff game against the Bills, I said, okay, they're never going to win with this guy as a head coach.
You are so right about the Chiefs' fourth quarter. I mean, that as much as I thought that you saw certainly the fade before that, there was an opportunity to reclaim some things there. And that fourth quarter, 11-point lead goes haywire. And by that time, this team offensively was figured out. And by that time, the quarterback was compromised. And maybe that they were just living on borrowed time anyway. But that is one of those definitive moments in the season when you knew things were going to start really going downhill quickly, and that's exactly what happened in that loss at Arrowhead, considering where the Chiefs are right now after last night going nowhere this season. That was a major, I think, moment in this season we'll look back on.
Yep, absolutely. 11-point lead with 11 minutes, and Steichen is just throwing the ball all over the place, and it was not working at all, but he just kept on throwing. All you have to do is just run the ball. You're not playing the Chiefs anymore. You're playing the clock.
Yeah.
If they would have ran the ball and they took time off the clock and then they lost the game, you feel bad. You would say, hey, listen, we lost the game. The defense couldn't come through for us. But the way they lost it, that they feel like he just gave it away. So, but let's see what happens this weekend. You never know. Maybe tomorrow the Texans go out there and they just. I think the Chargers are going to win tomorrow anyway. So whether the Colts can win on Sunday, we'll see.
You got it.
Not looking good.
Well, we'll talk at you next week. I hope you're having a great holiday in Brooklyn, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike in Brooklyn right there. Josh writes this, JMV. Who do you think has the best chance to win a title in the next 5 years? The Pacers, Colts, Fever, or Purdue? I would say this, and I know this sounds like a backhanded compliment, and it's not, but I would say the Fever. Because think about it. They were ravaged by injuries this past year and still made it all the way to, a determining matchup with the eventual champions. And then you kind of wonder what they're going to look like when back to full strength. And, let's face it, this is the backhanded compliment. It's easier to do it there than it would be for the Pacers, Colts, and Purdue to navigate this thing. So I would say the Fever. Of those 4, Josh, you gave me. Others may disagree. George is at 239-1070 right now. Hello, George. How are you?
Good. George Costanza here from Queens.
There you go, man.
Hey, happy Festivus. It will be a Festivus miracle if the Colts make the playoffs. Just saying.
Let me tell you this, Costanza. If you were to go out and grab yourself a steel pole, put it in the living room, celebrate around it, maybe you can do enough to ward off all these evil spirits and give a little bit of good fortune to a Colts team that seemingly hasn't had it now since October.
That's correct. You're referring to feats of strength, and I
Right.
just don't have the strength anymore.
You don't?
So,
What happened?
I don't know. I tell you, Jim Irsay told Chris Ballard to fix it. He hasn't fixed it. So it's time. It's time. When Daniel Jones fractured that leg, it was over. The mobility was lost, and I think Steichen was just dumbfounded by it all. But I'm not so upset. The injuries, okay, but like you said earlier on the radio show this week, every decision Chris Ballard has made has been wrong. But what about the decisions they didn't make? Like when they needed a coach after Jeff Saturday, Jim Harbaugh was out there. They weren't going to get Sean Payton, but Jim Harbaugh was out there. Why not go with somebody that's familiar with the franchise? Second of all, Cleveland Browns signed Deshaun Watson in 2022. Baker Mayfield was their quarterback. He wanted to come to the Colts. Baker Mayfield would have been better than anything we had. And what do? We go out and sign Matt Ryan. There was decisions that weren't made that bother me, that leave me restless. But listen, Pittman, Taylor, they all got to go on offense, and then the defense. The core players are still here. You got to try to get something for these guys that still have some value left. Buckner, Grover Stewart, Teddy Pay, Kenny Moore, Zaire Franklin, they all got to go. It's time to get younger, and it's time to move on, and I think they just need to do a clean sweep.
It is Costanza right there. Happy holidays to you, Costanza, on
Happy
that.
Festivus.
You got it. It's the Festivus for the rest of us. Listen, I don't know if what he detailed is going to happen, but there will be changes. I was discussing that with Joel a little bit earlier from the Star about sometimes in these situations where you view it as not a great situation for winning, and your window is so tight in the NFL, you've got some veterans that, simply put, may want to go someplace else to give themselves more of a fighting chance than what might be perceived in terms of winning here. And how would you not perceive it that way, given the circumstances over the past 5 years, especially? This from the text line, JMV, 317-239-1070. It would not be unbelievable if the Colts made the playoffs. Chargers beat the Texans, Colts beats the Jaguars, and the Texans lose out. I'm going to say this. It will be unbelievable. It will be unbelievable because it would have to happen for the Colts, because the Colts would have to win out. And you think this team's capable of winning out? They haven't won since Berlin and one time since Halloween. So considering how they played and especially what they looked like on Monday, and the two teams they're going to face within their own division. Listen, I can understand the challenge maybe doesn't look that long in odds with some help you have to get, but this team has yet to receive any, and they have even more so yet to help themselves. So I would disagree. I think it would be, considering the circumstances, what this team has played like, the lack of good fortune on any level this team has had, I think it would be absolutely, positively unbelievable. Ridiculously unbelievable. That's how unbelievable it would be. Stefan is next at 239-1070. Happy holidays, Stefan. Thanks for the call.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you as well. Yeah, it's time to go ahead and pull the hook on Shane and Chris, because at this present moment in time, Shane wasted an MVP season for Jonathan Taylor. Then on top of that, there's no one developing. So basically, if anybody coming through the door, if they don't already have a skill set already prepped in, none of our young players have developed into anything.
Yeah. Well, and again, that's why if you're believing with me, you need a reset. Like I thought like last January was the time, but then I looked stupid in September and October because they were winning at a 7-1 and then an 8-2 clip. But now you wish you would have started that reset. And then when you look at what they don't have available in assets with first rounders moving forward, that makes this situation, I think, as difficult as one as you're going to find throughout the NFL to put something together and give everybody here with this organization what it needs. And Stefan, as I've mentioned this before, they've done everything with this group. This organization with Chris, they have investigated and tried every single avenue, and nothing has worked. Here we are again. I think you have to take that in consideration just as much as you do anything else. Just as much as if you consider, well, it's about the losing of the quarterback and, some bad luck and injuries. You got to look where not only you are right now, but where you have been and what has worked compared to what has gone haywire.
It's true, but my thing is this. Look what Brian Flores over in Minnesota. Why not bring that here? Because the thing about it is clearly he develops all his talent. And then the coaching staff over at Minnesota developed their talents. Because you put in a quarterback nobody heard of on Christmas Day and he kills it. Well, he didn't kill it, but he did a great job and got the job done and won.
Stefan, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. I don't know if they're even going to do that. Like I've said this before, I think my opinion differs from what I believe plan-wise they're going to execute. Because I think they keep everything the same. And I know that drives you nuts, and you say, well, you're just – no, it's not what I believe should be done, but it's what I believe they're going to do. That's two different things. It is incredible how absolutely – seriously, you can say nothing has worked, and you'll say, well, no, look what they did here, they did there. Look what it has all encompassed, and you tell me if anything worked. You think you feel better right now than you did this time last year? And certainly you don't, because you look at next year and the year after that, and you got your fingers crossed on a guy coming back from an Achilles injury to rehab as quickly as any human being possible and be ready for next year. And then, oh, by the way, hoping again for the good fortune of that dude not being injured. And in the history of his career, he's often been what? Injured. Happy Friday to you. Happy holidays to you as well. Colts Happy Hour, bottom of the hour. Yeah, after that, Pacer pregame. Celtics Pacers tip time tonight at 7 o'clock. Kyle Whittingham is the brand new head coach of Michigan in the football program. 5-year deal, according to our friend from ESPN, Dan Wetzel. Next week, there's going to be a lot of playoff college football conversations, certainly with IU. I was thinking about this yesterday. Yeah, we're going to be talking about this. We'll be living in the moment coming up this time next week, won't we? That's going to be amazing. IU, Alabama, and the Rose Bowl New Year's Day, all a part of the college football playoff. Some stuff. I also mentioned a little bit earlier, too, regarding watching the Christmas Day NBA games, and I watched every one of them. But could not help the fact that not with this product and not the way this product is performing, but just how absolutely robbed, stingy fate with the Pacers in mind. It may not mean anything to you, But sitting back and watching the Pacer team that injury-wise has been as compromised as anybody, but not be able to be on the schedule and participate, especially with the type of season and postseason they had last year, that's all I could think about yesterday. I'm thinking, I got to watch the Mavericks. Got to watch all these teams over and over. It was such a joyous postseason occasion to watch the Pacers. And then normally out of that, when you make it all the way to where they made it, it's a foregone conclusion. You're playing on Christmas Day, and you can't even get the satisfaction of it. Again, I understand why, because nobody wants to watch that product on Christmas Day now. But man, does that suck. Could not get that out of my mind yesterday. A couple of things you're going to find out about the Pacers, too. You're going to find out who you want to roll with for the future and who you don't. That is one thing in this tremendously awful, injured gap season that is going to be good. That and a high lottery, maybe even number one overall selection. But you're also going to know who should be in it for the future and who should find another seat someplace else. 239-1070. Our friend Fulton joins us now. Hello, Fulton.
Hello, John. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you. So you got a disco outfit and a sweatsuit.
Yeah.
Did you just go for the clothes during Christmas this year, did you?
Yep, I sure did. My mom got that disco suit for my Christmas present. My girl Tracy gave me the jumpsuit present.
That is well done out of you right there.
Yep. Did you get anything special this time?
Yes, I got some cool shirts. I got to hang out a little bit. I got Lainey a Swatch watch from the 1980s, and then when I had her put it on, I realized, man, I didn't know they were so damn cheap. I guess they were back in the 1980s because they're even looking cheaper right now. But a Swatch watch for Leo. It's got Blake is a big NHL fan now. You got a bunch of Montreal Canadiens gear. That's his favorite team. So, hell, we had a good time, buddy.
Nice. Yep. I actually got a basketball hoops. It's like you put water in there, and the little tiny basketballs does basketball hoops.
Yeah, you hit the buttons and you push the ball around, right?
Yep.
That's old school. Yes.
And it has Bluetooth on there, so.
Awesome. All right, I got to run here, Fulton. Happy holidays. I'm glad you had a great Christmas. Shout out to your disco outfit.
Too. Make sure you come to basketball.
You got it, buddy. Fulton right there. Have you seen his disco outfit, Corbin?
I have not yet.
He is very nice. He looks like a cross between Tony Manero from Saturday Night Fever and Danny Terrio, or as a friend of mine might say, Danny Ontario from Dan's Fever. I mean, it is classic stuff right there. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. I'm going to come back with you on the other side. Colts Happy Hour. Colts Ride to Kickoff with me starts at 9. BullseyeEventGroup.com coming up on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. American Family Insurance Touchdown Town. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Colts after that. Up next, Colts Happy Hour, Pacer pregame, tip time, Celtics Pacers tonight, 7 o'clock. You guys have an outstanding weekend. We'll check in coming up on Sunday. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
It's JMV.